Welcome back to Everywoman with me, Shuli Ghosh. Now recently, hundreds of Nepalese women from the Badi community marched on Kathmandu to protest their lack of human rights. The Badi community is one of the most disadvantaged ethnic groups in Nepal. The women are often forced to rely on prostitution for money because they have no other options. Now they want the government to give them better rights, better political representation and better jobs. Everywoman met some of those fighting to leave the stigma of the sex trade behind.
Gorai, a sleepy town in the mid-hills of western Nepal. 22-year-old Mira Nepali comes from the Badi community. She says she has given up sex work, but everyone knows that she hasn't.
I started sex work when I was 16. My family was poor, and it was with the consent of my parents that I became a sex worker. Everyone in our Badi community was a sex worker then. From the times of our grandparents, everyone in our community did sex work. It was a general practice. That's why girls got into sex work. But now things are different.
There are an estimated 70,000 Badis in Nepal. Born into poverty and illiteracy, they are one of the most deprived communities in the country. Girls who are born into this community are expected to go into sex work from as early as 12. Mira's husband left her, and she is illiterate. She supports 2 children through her sex work. 15-year-old Draupadi is also from the Badi community, but she hasn't lived with her parents since she was 9.
In my family, my aunt used to do sex work. I was young and I don't remember much. She used to sell herself to support the family. She got pregnant because of that and had a daughter. Women in our community used to do sex work to support themselves. While other communities did different work, our community did sex work. If a son was born, our community would get worried. But if a daughter was born, they would rejoice because they felt the daughter would support the family and they would make her do sex work.
Draupadi studies at a local school and lives in a hostel for Badis run by Mitu Nepali. Mitu is a Badi himself and has been working as a social worker in his community for the past 11 years.
As Badis, when we walked around town, friends our age would come and ask us to introduce them to the girls in our community, to our sisters. It's not surprising that they would think of us in that way. We were living that kind of life, and sex work was acceptable in our homes. We understood why they asked, but deep down, it really hurt us. Badis are a community of entertainers who traditionally perform the songs and dances of our culture. We made drums and fishing nets for a living, but we are a poor and illiterate community, and we seriously lacked awareness. So the rich people changed the Badi community into a community of sex workers.
7 years ago, when Mitu started the hostel, he had 62 Badi children under his care. Today, due to a lack of funding, he is only able to support 12 girls who are between the ages of 12 and 17.
The most attractive aspect of sex work is that in a short amount of time, it's possible to earn enough money. We have to think about how we can tackle this. So we will need to bring special incentives for the community, which will deter them from sex work. More importantly, we need to create an environment where children of Badis, especially the daughters, are freed from sex work. Even if the parents are in the trade, we need to seriously raise awareness on this issue.
Funding for the hostel has been a challenge. Nepal's government provides approximately $6,000 a year. With this money, Mitu has to support 4 staff, pay rent for the hostel, and feed and educate 12 girls. For the girls, however, the hostel has given them a new lease of life.
My friends and I sleep together and wake up together and study in school together. And then we come back here to study, play, eat, and then sleep again around 10 p.m. We then wake up with friends and wash up. That's how our days go by. I like staying in the hostel, but then again, I don't like having to live away from my parents. However, the financial situation at home is not good. And on top of that, we are from the Badi community, and people tend to treat girls from Badi families badly. When we go back home, lots of boys come to smoke up and drink. Most of them behave badly and walk around our houses thinking that we will prostitute ourselves as well. Many boys in campus say right in front of us, "These girls stay in the Badi hostel. Do you know what that means?" By saying that, they are implying that Badi people are the ones who do sex work. Even though we know they are deliberately trying to insult us, sometimes we are forced to walk with our heads bowed.
Despite the humiliation, Draupadi is not disheartened.
In the future, I want both Badi girls and Badi boys to do well like other people. I want to see them studying, working in organizations, walking around carrying a bag. I don't want to see them riding rickshaws and falling down drunk. I would like to see the Badi community progress just the way that other people are progressing. This is what I wish for. I will try my best to study and become a teacher, and if I cannot do that, then I will work in some organization at an administrative level. If I can manage to provide for my family and bring them some happiness, I will be very satisfied. If I can achieve anything in life, if I get some work with any organization, I will take care of my parents and make them happy. That is my dream.
And the Badi women are hoping for better rights following landmark elections next month. We'll keep you posted on that. Now let's take a look at some other news making the headlines. China may be rethinking its one-child policy. Just a few days ago, a Chinese official said changes were being considered, though he wasn't specific about details. The policy has been in place since 1979 and is said to have reduced the population by 250 million. But critics say it's resulted in forced abortions, mass sterilizations and female infanticide because of a traditional preference for boys. Egypt has just appointed its first female marriage registrar, or Matsun. Amal Solomon is the first woman in the country and possibly the world to be authorised to conduct Muslim weddings and sign marriage and divorce contracts. Egypt's justice minister stressed her nomination was based on her abilities, not her gender. But the move has sparked a heated debate in the Arab country. And good news for women in Italy. Italian men are no longer allowed to grab their crotch in public after a Supreme Court ruled the act, which is believed to ward off bad luck, was against public decency. The court said if men needed to touch their genitals, they should do it in the privacy of their homes. Finally, last week we marked International Women's Day. So this week we want to know who you would nominate for our top 10 women. Women who have fought to make a difference to people's lives or who have courageously spoken out and refused to be silenced. Perhaps you think Qatar's First Lady, Sheikha Moza, should be included for working to improve women's education and literacy. Or maybe Hawa Ibrahim, the Nigerian lawyer who defends women sentenced to death under Sharia law. Should the list include the Iranian sisters who created the Omid database of those missing or executed during the revolution? Or perhaps you would nominate celebrities like Angelina Jolie, who works with refugees in her role as a UN ambassador. It can be absolutely anyone you like, whether famous or not. Whoever you choose, send us their name and why you think they deserve a mention to our email at everywoman@aljazeera.net. And we'll put together the top 10 list on the programme later this month. And that's it for now. See you next time. Bye-bye.